Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Uncovering Anomalies Podcast. You know it, you love it, you listen to it. Hopefully, you tell your friends about it. We really want you to do that. This is episode 82, and that is I Have a Need to Know, Adam.
Hey, everybody. See, we're back like every week.
Every week. You come with a little bit, you try to give a little bit. No, I take it all because I am take it all, Topher. You got some, I take it. I take it all.
What is that accent? That sounds very familiar.
No idea. Just a fun idea that came to my head as I was writing my name for the show.
Nice. Well, take it all, Topher.
You got one the podcast. I take all the podcasts.
Actually, that voice fits perfectly with your profile picture.
I don't know. I always imagine a voice like this for the Greys. I want to take it all.
See, because they're androids or android-like.
Give me the probe out of your anus. Yes, I take it. I take it all. I take all of your anus.
Oh, alien abductions are everywhere too, right?
Yeah, man.
Research going on with that.
There's some of my I love abduction stories. They're great. They're a lot of fun. We covered several of them last week. With the Coronado group abduction. But that was last week. Why don't you tell us
last week?
What we're covering this week? All I know is Operation Saucer out of Portugal.
No, out of Brazil.
It's Portuguese out of Brazil.
Right. Yes. So in Brasilia. So it's called Operation Saucer in English. In Portuguese, it's called Operacio Prato. I hope I said that right.
No, that sounded pretty good to me.
But that was in 19. Yeah.
As someone who knows all accents, that sounded really good to me.
I try. In 1977, so in the 70s in Brazil, there was over 2 or 3 day period. The island of Colares, the indigenous population were being attacked by craft and light beams and abductions over 2 or 3 years. So there was an official investigation by the Brazilian government, and we'll see, like in some articles, it was pre-disclosure, and then there was after disclosure. They actually released everything to the public a couple of years ago.
So that's what's so cool about South American governments.
Yes.
Excuse me. They are, open about somewhat open about UFOs and alien abductions. There are some really captivating, interesting stories that come out of not just Brazil, but South America as a whole. But Brazil definitely has some really cool ones. I don't know if this is part of the show today, but I'm trying to remember the name of the town, but there was a fishing town.
Brazil. It is. Yeah, you sent me. Oh, was that Brazil?
I believe it was Brazil, where they were getting scooped up by fishing hooks. It was a fishing village, and the aliens used fishing hooks to scoop them up, which is just absolutely bizarre.
Is that? Oh no, that's UK. You sent me another case, alien abduction case from the UK, Avley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, I think last podcast covered that one as well. Alien abduction scenarios are just absolutely, so much fun to read and learn about.
It just sucks if you're the one being abducted. Though. You're just completely helpless. There's nothing you can do about it. It sucks.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. It's a complete nightmare if you get abducted by aliens in like 99% of scenarios. But holy hell, is it fun to read about?
Yeah, definitely, because it's so strange, and there's no way that the ones who are doing the abducting want disclosure either. They want to remain secret and in the shadows. It's obvious.
Yeah, well, one of the big theories I always hear about is how the whole goal of aliens is to expand our consciousness,
Yeah.
And if they make it an event where they land in the White House and come out and introduce themselves, that kind of ruins people's perception of them. They want people to just use their own brains to expand their mind, not told to expand their minds, which is why they do things in the dark, in secret, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
according to that theory,
right, and that people have to be ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's an article from 2021 titled "Evidence of an Alien Attack: The Colares Case, Brazil, 1977." And here are some pictures they have. She's got some puncture wounds here.
Ooh,
there's those scoops again, huh? How they scoop the skin.
Melon baller. Yeah. I'm just reading that really quick. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but Brazil, the South American governments as a whole, they on the they will outwardly state that they believe in UFOs.
Yes, the government of Brazil, I think in 1954 or something, officially said that these are extraterrestrials or non-human.
Yeah. So do you remember, and I believe we've touched on this on the show, there was a UFO that was supposedly shot down over Brazil. And it was, I remember it was all over Reddit and all over the internet, and it got scrubbed so quick.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
You can't even, people had videos of it on their phones, posting the YouTube. Whole internet got scrubbed of it within days.
I remember when that happened. It was live on Reddit, and all of these locals were sending in videos.
And no one even talks about it anymore. It's nuts.
It must be on the Wayback Machine.
You'd have to do some digging, but yeah.
All right, so in 1977, on the island of Colares in Brazil, located at the mouth of the Amazon River, better known as the Amazon Delta, its inhabitants began to report a large number of sightings of lights of various forms. Little by little, these unknown lights came more and more in contact with the residents of the area, getting to know reports of lights that visited them at dawn, crossing their ceilings and illuminating parts of their bodies. It's weird because that most recent interview with Ross Coulthard, that guy talks about these lights. So it's very similar.
I haven't read through this page. The story I'm thinking about is the American UFOologists that went down to go research this. They figured out from locals that if you painted the roof of your car, I believe it was red, white, and yellow, the aliens were more likely to pay you a visit if you're driving on a night road.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So wait, what were the colors? Red, white, and yellow?
I'm not 100%. Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure that's what it was. But it had to do with, those were the lights that the UFOs were projecting. And so they decided to, paint their cars and
try it out.
Yeah.
Look at that. So they must be, they're obviously intelligently controlled.
Mm-hmm. Or right, so sexually aroused by colors.
Aren't we all?
Go either way. Aren't we all? No.
Well, what do you think red lipstick is?
Oh, shit.
All
right. Well, damn. I'm more of a black lipstick guy myself. Like those goth girls.
Oh, I get that. All right, moving on.
Yeah, please
2 months.
Move on.
2 months had already passed, plagued by hundreds of witnesses who claimed to have been pursued and attacked by lights in the sky, which seemed to want to kidnap them. There you go, aroused. Many of the victims reported that when these lights came into contact with their bare skin, they could feel their bodies become paralyzed. They began to feel burns in the illuminated areas and had the sensation as if they were sucking their blood. Blood.
Yeah, the burns from UFOs, that's pretty common.
Yeah, but sucking their blood, that's a new one, huh?
Yeah, that's a new one for sure. Sometime after these incidents, the cases began to become more tragic, so the director of health of the aforementioned island, Dr. Walade, began to treat the victims, being able to realize that the wounds were serious burns with small holes. Oh, Jesus. Similar to those that remain in the body as a result of an injection. These burns also began to turn black, indicating death of the skin. But the strangest thing is that this almost always happened 10 minutes after exposure to the lights, while normal burns take around 96 hours to present this behavior. The sensation of suck, that's chupa chupa, by the way.
Oh, really?
I believe so. That's what chupa chupa means, a suck.
Suck. Okay.
Or blood sucking manifested by several victims was confirmed by medical studies that determined anemia in these people, evidently caused by blood loss. Wowzer.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it is nuts.
That quick too? They just like sucked out the blood really quick.
I mean, it makes sense, right? From an alien perspective, you want a quick way to extract material. And done.
We seriously are just an own species. I mean, the more we look into this, it's like there's no regard for humans at all.
Yeah. No, we're monkeys at the zoo.
Yeah. Or whatever reason they're using us for. 2 of the cases treated by Dr. Waleed ended in death, and that, according to forensics reported, was of unknown origin. Until then, the doctor was skeptical of this type of phenomenon and adduced the causes of death due to cardiac arrest as a consequence of the mass hysteria, of course, that she thought was being experienced on the island. But he would have to experience a terrifying case firsthand. This must be like translated.
Yeah, it seems like it's translated, because I don't think adduced is a word, but deduced makes sense in this context. Now,
so because of mass hysteria is why they died.
I was just about to bring this up. What are your thoughts on mass hysteria? Because it certainly, to me, it exists.
Yes, for sure.
I remember in the 90s, everyone was afraid of satanic cults, which, as far as I can tell, none were ever found. But I do remember hearing about them as a kid.
Yeah.
And everyone was really freaked out by it. But do you think mass hysteria is the reason people see UFOs and all this nonsense?
No, I mean, I don't think mass hysteria will make you hallucinate something physical, or something physically happening to you. I mean, mass hysteria will make you hallucinate something, or a fear that's irrational of something that's not there. But it's definitely a real thing, mass hysteria. But this guy is saying it made them die. Now, would it make them die? No. The thing is, you can have mass hysteria like in a church or somewhere localized where many people are together experiencing something. But yeah, once you're taken out of that situation, I would think you wouldn't have that hysteria anymore. I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, I'm right there with you.
It's just weird that he was, especially in Brazil. You'd think he'd be more open.
Right. Yeah, it's a bizarre situation. So being around 5 p.m, days after the deaths of these 2 people, the doctor witnessed that a woman was passed out on the road, which had been a victim of those lights. After helping her, everyone, including the doctor, witnessed a strange metallic and luminous object in the shape of a truncated cone, which wandered over the town, revealing inside 2 humanoid beings, 1.2 or 1.3 meters high, approximately.
That's like a foot tall. Wait, what?
No. A meter is 3 feet.
Oh yeah, 3. Yeah, so 3 foot something.
Mm-hmm.
So tiny.
Small grays.
What the hell? This is small, aggressive grays. Let's like suck the blood.
No, they take it all.
Exactly. So wait, can we open this picture?
I'm trying to even decipher what that picture is. Is that the UFO?
And this is from the.
It looks like something you'd put in your car,
like a kerosene thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't data sets. That is pretty bizarre.
Yeah, if I saw that floating around, I'd be weirded out.
And look at them; they're supposed to be in here.
Yeah,
how bizarre is that?
Oh wow, that is really bizarre.
Imagine seeing that with tiny beings inside.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah,
that's super, because it is super weird, and I love the super weird, but because it doesn't look like a UFO. No. I mean, it looks like a muffler.
Yeah, it does. A muffler that's upside. Yeah, it's side up,
floating around
with 2 beings inside. So I'm thinking, I guess they'll suck up the blood from here.
I mean, who knows? I think it's impossible to try and decipher what the hell the UFOs, different parts, what their purposes are.
All right, I'm convinced it's mass hysteria. All right. So wait, yeah, you read that. Due to the seriousness of these cases, Dr. Willade contacted the mayor of the city to request the Air Force to inspect the area and rid the town of these attacks. All right. So something obviously is happening. Seriously. However, only 90 days later, a contingent of soldiers arrived in Colares, though 3 months later, but it had already been almost abandoned due to the terror aroused in the residents at the fateful events. As is typical, the military pressured Dr. Willade to declare that the Colares case was a product of mass hysteria, to which she flatly refused. Good for her. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. Thank you, Doctor.
Well done, Willade.
So that was a good introduction to it. And then this is how the investigation by the Air Force in the area began. And as a curious note, the investigation was called Operation Saucer.
Operation de Saucer.
Yeah, there you go.
During the long investigation carried out by Air Force personnel led by Commander Holanda Lima. Wow, that's a hell of a name. It was possible to capture and gather highly important materials such as photos of luminous objects in the sky, sketches of the sightings that clearly showed objects in the shape of saucers and their characteristics as well as their location. But said material was declared confidential and archived by the government of Brazil. Initially, Commander Lima was highly skeptical of the issue and tried to demystify the whole Colares affair. However, the commander witnessed several events and even a third type of contact, which had an instantaneous anti-skeptic effect on him. So this guy,
anti-skeptic. I thought it was antiseptic.
No, this guy came in believing it was mass hysteria, and he witnessed something that was so wild, he became a believer.
So here are some pictures of, I guess, official pictures.
Damn,
that is weird. That looks like a snake.
Sperm.
Yeah, yeah, definitely sperm here.
Yeah, very bizarre.
I guess this is where they're showing. There's an image showing where the craft came in, turned around, and left. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I wonder if there's a base there. Colares.
Operation Saucer ended up being archived and classified as inconsistent due to the high number of possible reasons why this phenomenon could have occurred.
Oh, so if there's multiple reasons something could have occurred, then sorry, it's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, it's like when people were like dying suddenly during those years. Yeah, it's everything except that. Yeah, there's too many reasons. So a few years later, the retired commander Holanda Lima contacted the Brazilian ufologist Ademar Givard, editor of UFO magazine Brazil, and they met. This interview had the objective of Holanda to deliver the truth of the events that occurred in Colares before he died, as he stated. So this is how Holanda delivers her version of events, clearly recounting the sightings of lights that she had witnessed and a smaller encounter with one of those supposed alien beings. Ooh.
Woo!
I didn't know that. Of course.
And they killed the commander.
Yes. What a surprise, huh?
Yeah. Huge surprise. He committed suicide by he had 2 bullet holes in the back of his head and he was hanging from a rope. Total suicide.
Definitely suicide. I would do that if I was.
That's not in the article for those of you just listening. But you know how.
Yeah, but however, what's in the article is he supposedly committed suicide.
But what many believe, and the writer concludes, even though he said concludes himself, is that there were external agents that made a murder look like a suicide. Yeah, I mean, is there a government on this planet that doesn't kill their own citizens and make it look like suicide?
No, I don't think so.
I'm just amazed they didn't say JFK was eating bullets or something and died by eating a bullet on accident.
Right, yeah, it was lead poisoning from eating bullets.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
He had his mind blown by how tasty the bullets were.
Probably Marilyn disguised him in something.
Oh, Marilyn.
Or maybe wait, I'm not going to go there.
And then they killed her afterwards, too.
Yeah.
Well, Marilyn, the most beautiful woman that ever existed.
Well, she's iconic, right? I mean, she's timeless. She lives forever.
Sure.
All right. So next is the dirty war was present. So although there were valuable testimonies and photos. Oh, wait! Just before I continue, there was something else I wanted to say
Oh, was it about Marilyn
Brazil.
Monroe? Oh,
No, about the Brazilian government and this subject, like how open they are. Like they have close relationships with the journalists, and they let them know what they're doing. The only thing that's classified, now listen to this, that they won't ever say is any relationship with the U.S. government and what the U.S. government does with these cases.
Oh, weird.
Everything else is open, though.
How weird. How it's funny how that works.
I know, right? So, like, we're the only ones, the free United States.
And I'm sure the U.S. government is there just helping out and being good.
Yeah, they didn't take anything. What do you think happens though? They probably come and like, all right, guys, listen, we've been dealing with this for 2 decades or whatever. You need our expertise, so we'll help you with this. We'll just take everything.
I think it's the same thing that happens every time in countries like this, is where someone in power gets pulled into a back room, and they're shown, not to bring up JFK again, they're shown a assassination. They're shown the assassination of JFK from a different angle, where the shooter turns around and gives a peace sign to the camera, and they say,
down.
And and then they say, well, if you have any questions, you just go ahead and ask Kennedy. And they go, yeah, sure, whatever you want. We'll help you out, U.S. government.
It's got to be something like that. So, I mean, yeah, there's so many meetings that they go in and get whatever they want out of those meetings, and they're really quick, and we know they have nothing. So it's weird.
And weirdly enough, the people that pulled them in the back room have weird little hats on the, top. Never mind.
Continuing here, a large part of the interest in having the issue decatalogued. They're saying the Brazilian Air Force decatalogued supposedly the report. Came from the Brazilian Air Force and from the government itself. The various psychosocial campaigns that surrounded the event, ranging from mass hysterics, urban legends, and psychological problems of Commander Holanda. So now they're saying she had psychological problems, achieved the main objective of those cover-ups of the truth, thus turning an evidently fact into an enigmatic fact to this day. Fiction, probably they say, to this day. All right, so what happened after this, because this is in 2021, the Brazilian government did release the papers. And this guy, and he runs Brazil's UFO magazine. It's huge. It's still in print. I think he's been running it for 30 years or something. So this guy is really close to the Brazilian government, and they trust him with information. Because he's close to them. He's developed contacts, he's developed relationships, and that's how things work in normal human societies. So here, George Knapp interviews him. He talks about many things, not just this event. But I did stop it at the Operation Saucer.
All right,
and
well,
I think,
listen.
Yeah, he goes through. Well, actually, I haven't listened to this part. So yeah, let's listen.
Harmed by interactions with whatever these things are, right?
Right. It happened in 1977, and in a few months of 76, and a few months in 78. People were being attacked, George. People were being attacked by balls of light that came from sky, sometimes came through the trees, in a particular area called the island of Colares, which is by the Amazon River. It's 100 kilometers from the very well populated city of Belém in the state of Pará. And these people were attacked by hundreds. It were hundreds of people that were attacked. And people were fleeing. They are escaping from that situation by moving to other places of the state. So only like 10% of the population remained. And at some point, the government decided to intervene, to do something about it. And it asked the Brazilian Air Force, which has a big base in Belém, to do something. And the Brazilian Air Force, at the 1st Aerial Regional Command in Belém, they assembled a team of men, 30 to 40 men, heavily equipped to investigate those flights. It was called Operation Saucer, which is the largest military mission that we have knowledge in the world to investigate those cases. It stayed, the Operation Software Man stayed at that location for 4 months, from
Wow.
September to December 1977. And they were able to make over 500 photos of the objects, 500 photos, and 16 hours of film. Film, not videos, because there were no videos in 1997, but Super 8 and Super 16 millimeters. And this material, from these materials, like 200 to 300 photos were declassified and are at National Archives. In not one single second of the film were declassified yet. This is how we're going bold again after the pandemic with our movement UFOs, Freedom of Information now, to ask precisely for those pieces of evidences.
All right, so the videos and pictures have not been declassified, but the report has. But yeah, he's still working on it. It seems so. But of course, there would not, because that'll be evidence.
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now there's still the debunkers out there saying, "Well, where's the evidence?" And they just don't see how it's always withheld from us.
Right. I mean, the game is rigged. I hope most people see that part at least.
Yeah, it's so rigged. All right, let's see what else he says.
And beside that, the operations also gathered, they produced 2,000 pages of reports of UFO sightings, and talking to the witnesses, they collected reports as well, more than the reports made by the military. And over 1,000 of those pages were also released, declassified, and are in the National Archives.
That's a spectacular case. That really happened. And the government did investigate, and people really were harmed. Was anyone killed? Do you know?
4 people were killed. And also animals like chicken, cocks were attacked, goats, and they all died instantly. I have been investigating this case for quite a long time, including it happened in 1977. 20 years later, I was in a TV show, which is largely seen on Sundays night in Brazil, and I was talking about the Operation Saucer with the documents that I received anonymously. And then in the morning of Monday, just a few hours after the program, the very commander of the Operation Saucer, Colonel Irangê Bolivar Soares Nogueira de Holanda Lima, called me at my office to congratulate me for what I was doing, informing the society about the Operation Saucer. I was the one who revealed its existence. And that man decided to open his heart to me. And he said, AJ, I couldn't meet you in the past when you looked for him in Brasilia and in Rio. But now I'm disconnected from the Air Force. I no longer belong to the Air Force. And if you want to talk about Operation Saucer again, come to my house and we speak freely. You can.
He's talking about Holanda, the one we just reported about?
I think so.
Lima, right?
Lima, yeah.
All right, so she or I think it's a he.
It's he, I believe.
It's a he. All right, so went to him.
The psychiatrist who reported to Lima was a she.
Oh, okay. So I guess she entrusted him, and he entrusted AJ, and he's gonna tell him what happened.
Right.
So wait, but he went in believing it's mass hysteria, or that was his mission to prove it was mass hysteria.
I just think he's a military guy, and so no nonsense. That's probably just what I don't think he was. I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing here, but I don't think
it's the default.
Yeah, that's just the default. Exactly.
Yeah.
Record, you can do whatever you want. And I went to Rio with my co-editor, and we did a very long interview with this gentleman. We had a very fresh memory of the facts. He told me that he had an encounter with an occupant of a large UFO.
Whoa.
A large UFO. It was by the middle of December 1977. Hollanda, the commander, with one of his men, were in a small boat on the southern area of the island. When they were about to leave to the camping on the northern area of the island, they saw an object coming down. It was a cylinder-like object with almost 100 meters
Wow.
in height that almost touched ground on the other bank of the river. But it didn't. It stayed like 5 meters or so from the ground. It didn't touch down. And so the Hollanda and his men was disturbed. What the hell is that? My God. And then they saw from the upper part, the top part of that object, a door was open and a humanoid figure, just like a human being coming down, floating in the air. It had 2 legs, 2 arms, a body, a neck, and a face. Were dressing a suit, a white suit, and a helmet like those helmets that the bikers use, with a dark visor. And he floated down until he came close, like a few meters from the boat where Hollanda and his men were. But no communication was made, nothing was made, no gesticulation like a hi or telepathic or something, nothing. Then the creature went back by the same path, entered that big UFO, which just went up and disappeared.
What is the point of that? I mean, so, okay, this whole dramatic landing, you get out from the door, you float all the way down, you're dressed like the guy says he's dressed, and nothing, no hi, no nothing.
Well, I don't know. Who knows, man? Maybe, but it goes back to our conversation we were having earlier. I mean, maybe it's just because they want people to question reality.
Yeah, that could have been just for him.
It's literally just to mess with people.
You're right, and if that guy had the beliefs that it's all mass hysteria, it could be just for that then. Like, yeah. Okay, we'll show you mass hysteria.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you see something that weird, what the hell are you supposed? You don't just go, well, now I've got mass hysteria, you know.
Yeah. Wow, what a bizarre encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, this is fascinating. This is what caused the finish of Operation Saucer.
What is it about Brazil that attracts so much of this attention of whatever these things are? Because, as I said, you have a long history in that country of very dramatic incidents. And who knows what goes on out in settlements and villages in the Amazon that you'd never hear about?
Yes. Well, I have been specializing in investigating in the Amazon, the several areas of the Amazon. I fly to Manaus or to Belém. I take a car. I go to the fastest city that I can reach by the river. There I rent a boat with a guy driving the boat. And we go further and further inside the jungle. And I start talking to families that live isolated from society, that barely have a radio. I talk to them, and I go into communities, very poor, very humble communities, and I talk to them. I ask them if they have seen something strange. And you will be shocked to see, if I tell you, that out of 10 people have experiences. Now, they see objects that they call a castle or something like that, come from inside the Amazon River without making waves and going up. They shoot at the object sometimes, or you just get amazed by the beauty of these objects, the lights that are surrounding all over the objects. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to hear what they have to say. And they are very simple. They used to connect or to compare what they saw with what they know. Então, they give names to the object that they see. according to their beliefs, according to their knowledge of small knowledge of the world itself. Some of
Yeah, it's all about perspective. You know, we've said that before. Like whatever is in our religious books as well, it could be the exact same thing. That whoever's witnessing it is trying to relay the data in something that the people living there can relate to.
Exactly. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So it's the same thing.
We're half the phenomena apparently. So whatever you bring into it, that's what you're getting.
So I guess this is one of the pictures.
Yikes.
Turn your attention to your body and release any Oh, what's this? Never mind. Yeah, so Operation
Prato.
Brazilian Air Force UFO photographs and details about the occupants inside them. Look at that burning.
It's definitely a balloon.
Operation Saucer. So in 2004, the Brazilian Air Force released official documents pertaining to Operation Operação Prato. The documents detail what many citizens and the military witnessed at the time. Let's see if we can see anything from the documents, because they're all in Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we saw this one actually with that weird looking cylinder.
Yeah, that was the muffler we were looking at earlier.
Oh, this is Dr. Willade. That's right.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. They believe blood was being sucked. All right, exactly. Here's this image.
Yeah, picture of where the blood sucking was taken out of the patient, the victim.
That's so nuts. And they say they turned black, right?
Yeah.
So this is Colonel Hollanda, the guy who apparently committed suicide, but also had that interview with AJ.
He was the commander of Operation Saucer. According to him, Brazilian Air Force detected 9 forms of objects. He classified them as probes and crafts that were shaped like flying saucers, and then all reports went to Comar 1 Air Force Base, then to Brasilia. He himself went public and described incidents witnessed by the military while investigating. For example, at a distance of 70 meters from the vessel where they were one night, the said object in the shape of an American football had been photographed and filmed by the military. It had little windows on it, and he said it was approximately 500 feet long.
Wow.
Approximately the size of 2 Boeing 747 airplanes.
Yeah, and that was in the 70s, guys.
Damn.
In August 1997, editor of the popular UFO magazine in Brazil, AJ Gerard, who we just saw, received a call from Hollanda. Yep, Hollanda wanted to schedule an interview. Below is a picture of that interview where Hollanda revealed more details about the operation. Now, so what? They're saying this guy had like psychological problems and then committed suicide, right? Basically.
Yeah, he got a real rough case of mass hysteria.
Yeah, and of course this guy's wearing the X-Files shirts.
Oh, come on, UFO researchers, do a little bit better.
I mean, that does not help.
No, it does not.
Oh, this interview was significant because all of the soldiers who participated in Operation Saucer are now dead. At the time of this particular interview in 1997, Hollanda was the last one alive. I could not find details regarding the deaths of all of the other soldiers involved. Whoa. Because, I did, when he was talking, because that whole like occupant thing, it was him and another soldier. And in my head, I was like, oh, someone should ask that other soldier. Well, he's dead. So, yeah, I mean, we just heard. So same thing here. He revealed that there were more than 500 photographs. Yeah, we heard that. 16 hours of video footage and 2,000-page pile of reports. Oh, wait a minute. Were you gone? What happened?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna pause it. Yeah, we've heard from that. I guess that's what he looked like.
There they are, small grays. I mean, looks identical to what everyone else has seen coming out of these craft.
Look at that.
The eyes are a little bit different, and usually people talk about big old eyes,
bigger ones. Yeah, wearing a kind of tight fitting
babushka on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So unfortunately, just 2 months
Oh my
after this
God,
interview,
he was found hanging from his bedroom. I made a joke earlier.
How did you do that? Because you know just how
It's so
stupid they
obvious.
are.
It's
Yeah.
so obvious how they kill people.
Oh my God.
According to Gerard, this wasn't his first suicide attempt. Ugh, I don't know.
Really? This wasn't his first. So what?
2
Okay,
months.
how did he fail
2
before? I
months
mean,
after the interview. Wow.
wow. It's got to be the phenomenon too, not just government.
I think there's a big part. Once you like come to terms with the fact that reality, as you know it, is completely false.
Yeah.
That does have to mess with some people.
Yeah. Oh yes, and there's movies about that too.
Especially in if I'm not completely in the wrong here, I think Brazil's a very religious part of the world.
Yeah,
and
sure.
and basically having your religion, I was going to say crucified, and then I realized how terrible of a turn of phrase that was.
Not intended.
Yeah, I think having your religion completely broken in front of your eyes, I think that does tend to mess with a lot of people.
Yeah, which is why they won't really disclose officially.
Yeah, I mean that's what they say anyway.
Right. So here are other from the disclosed documents. I guess they had a craft looking like this, where it looks metallic, illuminating some light, and then at the bottom here.
Yeah, it looks like a top.
Yeah,
like one that you spin, except without the handle on top.
Articles from 1977.
Yeah, I mean this was in newspapers. This was all over the place. This story.
Oh yeah. And there's that. They're showing this picture here. Landing of objects were also reported from the incident. So they actually, if you look at that, I mean, yeah, it was a huge investigation.
Mm-hmm.
They went into the fields. They measured how deep the indents are.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
There's one U.S. UFO guy who's all about indents, and I can't remember his name, but obviously that's a really important part of UFO, research.
Yeah. Here's some other images that they captured.
Yeah, very, very bizarre. I don't even know how to. I mean, obviously oval shape, but those top two.
Yeah.
It's got a little thing hanging. I mean, I don't even know how to describe that.
Like a Pac-Man ghost or something.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I mean, it's intense light. Looks like it's melting, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, very bright.
Yeah.
And we saw
There's
this
that
one
again
with the two beings in there. Imagine seeing that. I don't know if I would laugh or.
I'm laughing because who's driving? I'm actually going go left. No, I want to go right. I want to go right. Go left.
Especially if they're meter high. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Humans are still categorizing these events as demonic, angelic, and all sorts of things. The truth is, we could be way off, and perhaps we're not ready to find out right now what is really going on. If I was, this is the author, if I was a being from somewhere else and was perceived as something I wasn't by the masses, I wouldn't really want to interact openly with them. A lot of truth there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. Oh wait, we've talked about that picture before.
Yeah,
that's talking about the one over. Where was that? It wasn't Germany.
Somewhere in Germany, I think.
Was it Germany?
Wait, Nuremberg.
Yeah, Nuremberg. It was Germany.
Of course, Nuremberg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's we could do. I don't know if there's enough actual content. But we could do a deep dive on the Nuremberg incident.
Yeah, I think there is.
I mean, it's literally just paintings of what happened that day because it was so long ago. Yeah, actually, one new kind of theory that I've been letting bounce around my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. How do I even begin to describe this? Okay, picture you are in a house, right, with a lot of rooms. Or all the rooms are touching each other, but the walls are kind of soft, so you can push your way into the room next to you. And I'm starting to wonder if, like, when we see aliens or ghosts or yetis or Sasquatch or I don't know, some unfathomable thing, it's whatever entity is in the next room over kind of poking their fingers through the wall, and those little fingers are what we're seeing. So we're not getting the full picture. You see an alien, you see a ghost, but it's just a finger of the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
Does
What's
that
being
make
shown
sense?
here? Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
depiction of what in this reality.
Right.
Yeah.
And
It could be something entirely different.
And that's why it doesn't make any sense to us, because we're not, everyone wants to say, oh, they're aliens from another planet that are landing here and they want to do tests on us or yada, yada, yada. But, you can't possibly know that because all you're seeing are the tips of fingers. Hopefully that doesn't sound too wacko, too wooey.
Well, I mean, especially when it's just stuff like this, where it just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
That it even exists.
Yeah.
And it needs our blood.
But that doesn't make any sense. But that's part of it. I don't know, man.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're trying to say. It's just hard to put in words too.
Yeah.
Crazy pictures. Yeah.
Well,
that was it's a cool case. There's a lot going on in Brazil. And even recently, this guy, what's his name? They should put his name in the title at least. He's a Brazilian researcher. Oh, Ronnie Vernet.
Cool.
He went to Brazil recently, and of course, very remote Amazon, in the Amazon, and he went and set up a whole station to record what these natives are seeing. So he set up cameras. He got a Starlink link or account. He has a bunch of sensors that he set up also. So he did an interview with Ross Coulthard, and we can watch some of the cool videos they took.
Nice.
And it's mostly lights also.
Yeah.
And not big. So it's very similar to what happened in 1977.
It's also, if you remember back to Skinwalker Ranch, that was what the family was seeing on the ranch all the time. It's just little, like, soccer ball sized balls full of light floating around.
So maybe those are the drones.
Who knows, man? Maybe it's just a fingernail.
Or just small beings inside.
Yeah, real small ones.
The ball fire was gone. So this was the most common witness there.
Okay, here's the $1 million question, Ronnie. Did you see those anomalous orange yellowy balls?
Yes. The first observation was on a fair, not far, not too close, but a far orange blinking. It was blinking a very strong orange and a very strong yellow. It was going around, literally around all the village. So we observed like at 36 degrees, this object always in the level of the trees. It's important to say that it's not something that was far away in the space, far away in the air. These lights are at the maximum at the top of the tree level. It's the height that they fly there. So it was going around all the village, almost a 360 around the village, and entered inside the forest. And this was the first photo that I took with my equipment.
So it's like the same, it's like the other pictures we saw. It's just like a really bright, irregularly shaped, craft.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Again, maybe it's craft, maybe it's a little ball light. Who knows?
So what we're looking at here is a photograph of the object that you personally shot with your camera?
Yes, I was with at this night I was not with the station built yet. I was only with my camera and with my cell phone that was together with accessory that I plug my binoculars to give more zoom, to give more detail. So this was the equipment that I used.
So talk me through what we're seeing.
Yes, it was like a sphere, an orange sphere that the light was gone and again started to blink in strong yellow. and this becomes again, orange and yellow, and this light going straight away, very low on the top tree level, and going inside the forest. So this was the first observation of the UAP. And in these interviews, I asked people before I started observation, the first day, where these objects are most seen, where they are going, from where they are going, where they are coming, where they are going out. Can you explain the directions where this phenomena is more often seen? And almost all of them was certainly that was a specific direction. It was to the west direction from the village, looking at from the village, inside the village. And I started to investigate that direction, start to observe that direction. And these objects that I saw in the second night entered exactly in that direction where the people was telling me that the lights were going in and out.
So what's
right? So obviously not extraterrestrial, something terrestrial to that.
What makes you say that?
Well, he says that they come and go from the exact same direction, and it's in the jungle. And then what the people were saying before, if you remember from the other interview with that AJ Gerard, he was saying that they come up from the Amazon River and then they take off. So and especially that's been so long now, with 2024, and that these things have been happening for so long. So it seems something that's just there, not from outside.
The object was here. My drone was like 2 meters, at maximum 2 meters to 5 meters high. So I was looking directly. Then I was looking the red light from the phenomenon, orange light of the red light. I was looking the green light from my drone, and I had complete vision. And I started to get the drone camera to look down, look up, look to the sides, and it was not possible to see this object. There was no way that could be possible that my drone was not filming this object, because I was seeing it with my eyes. It was very clear. The red light, the orange light was very strong. And it was impossible to me. The object was static, was not moving. And it was impossible to me to film this object with my drone.
Wow.
You realize what?
So stealth also.
Top tree level, going, very slow, no noise. And I tried to, I run to the equipment. I tried to put the camera in the position, but I was not successful because the object immediately goes down inside the forest. And that's the behavior, common behavior. The object, every time he goes down and literally enter the trees in the forest, inside the forest.
Weird.
So passed like 30 minutes, came something very, very bizarre that I never witnessed before. It was what I could describe better. It was like aurora, aurora, the natural phenomenon. And this aurora was not green, was not red. It was like very white, very dense, like a luminous fog, as I could describe. It was forming like a 3D shape, in the shape of a hand, like this form. It was I'm seeing the shape. It's like,
You're
imagine
kidding.
like yes. Imagine like
you're actually seeing a
show.
hand.
A hand, yes, a hand like this.
Wow.
Like pointing very, very that way. And imagine like the drone show that people do today, where they put a lot of drones in the air and the drones form a 3D shape, a figure shape. But imagine this, not with drones, imagine this with a fog, a luminous fog, not a simple fog, but a very, very bright luminous fog, forming, becoming denser, very close to us, like, don't know, like 1 mile at the maximum range. It was forming like a hand like this, like maybe pointing this.
Did you get imagery of this, Ronnie?
Yes, immediately I run into the equipment. I put the motorized camera toward this. I put the zoom to see if it's something behind that, but it was simply a fog, a luminous fog. And this is the equipment. We don't see in the equipment what I was seeing in the with my eyes. But
yeah, I mean, doesn't that prove like we're half the phenomenon too? Like this is the second time he says that he sees it with his eyes. He actually, but his equipment cannot capture it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it's used as a convenient excuse by skeptics to say, oh, you can't, if you can't capture on film, it's not real. But for whatever reason, this phenomenon it chooses when and how and where to be captured.
Right. And who?
It seems like, yeah, and who. One thing he keeps talking about is luminous fog. We talked a lot about that last week with the abductees of Coronado. When they were describing the light in their room, luminous fog.
Weird. So that might be like a plasma phenomenon, because that's what plasma looks like.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this hand is really weird.
You see a form like that, like this one that I'm saying, and
so you do see see the hand,
not exactly like I'm describing, but you see the contours. But we don't see. If you get the image only of the camera and they give you Ross, what you're seeing here, you're not seeing a hand.
Right.
I can be honest about it. You cannot see a hand, but you can see some strange form and this strange fog moving. I put the zoom. It was not possible to see anything with the zoom, so I put the zoom out, and this fog started to move towards the forest, like going deep in the forest. And something impressive. I let two indigenous boys outside and say, observe everything, take notes. What are you seeing with your own eyes? And the boy said to me that when he was observing, he saw this phenomenon like pointing towards the forest. And it's crazy because the point that it was pointing, this virtual hand or something like that, it was and entered exactly where the phenomena goes in and out every night. So it was like pointing for us, maybe interpretation. Okay.
Yeah, right. They want their blood, They're like, all right, come over here, human. Look, we're pointing right here.
It's exactly like you walk into a strange warehouse and there's a big button that says, "Don't push this button."
Yeah, exactly. And they know how we are. Like, oh, look, it's pointing. Let's go. That's so bizarre, though.
Very bizarre.
Let's see what other videos he's got. He's got a cool one at the end. Oh, yeah, this one. Definitely watch the entire interview, though.
Yeah. And as always,
yes,
you, dear listener, can find these videos, everything we talk about on all of these shows. You can find it in the show notes.
Absolutely.
The indigenous say that they believe that in their culture that we have the beings of the forest, and the great things that the direction that these lights are coming in and out. I asked the indigenous leader, "What do you have here? You have a river, you have a water body. What do you have in this direction?" "Oh, this is the direction exactly of the Samauma. The Samauma is the sacred tree of the Amazon. In the indigenous culture, the Samauma is a portal where beings from the forest come in and out." And when he talked to me about that, I was shocked because I was never imagining an answer like that. That exactly pointing direction where the phenomena is going down, literally entering the forest. It's exactly direction where the Samauma is located.
Did you get a picture or imagery of the Samauma tree, the sacred tree that he was talking about?
Yes, I went there. It's prohibited to people to visit at night. They don't permit that because they say that could cause bad things for you because their habit is bad and good spirits. So I asked him, "Oh, I want to go there and stay there at the night and wait for the phenomenon." He said, no way. I cannot permit it. It's prohibited in my culture. And they only can go there.
Of course, it's prohibited in his culture, but it makes sense if that thing is causing that.
It totally makes sense.
Yeah. So it's a portal of, they say, beings to enter our reality.
Once again, I mean, this is Skinwalker Ranch. The exact same type of phenomenon.
Yes, there are portals on this planet. Like Skinwalker is one of them, and this place is one of them. But
See, and this ties into my really bad, wall house with thin walls theory. There's certain places on this planet where the walls are really thin that something from the other side can kind of push through.
Right, and it's obvious our ancestors knew about all these places,
which is why it's in his culture it's prohibited. It's because they they knew they didn't have an explanation for it other than stay the hell away from this area at night.
Right. Yeah, and it could be where monuments are built and even ancient ones.
Yeah, where the pyramids are.
Yeah, where the pyramids are. So weird.
On the day the children are forbidden to go there is a very, very strange place that the indigenous leaders say the only one that can do this job to go there and to see if the phenomena wants contacts there where they are descending is me, and they'll prepare my warriors, my family here in the indigenous tribe, prepare our spirit to go to this combat. Because if you go there, he said to me, if you go there with your spirit weak, you have a lot of problems.
Holy crap.
So they know of this tree, this sacred tree, being literally a portal.
Yes, but as I said, it's a portal, not in the things are not supposed to come in form of light or vehicles to our world. This is what they strange. It's not expected for the indigenous people to have things coming from the spiritual realm to our reality to appear.
You're doing my head in, Ron. This is extraordinary. I didn't expect this degree.
Wow. So they were shocked. So they knew about this portal, but they were shocked that they were actually coming in, is what he's saying. I mean,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Wow. I guess they're surprised that it's actually physically manifesting. It could be just the times we're in now. That's always been predicted that's what happens. That realm starts to leak into here. Crazy. That's scary. All right, moving on. So you did share this with me, the British Earth and Aerial Mysteries Society, and
beams.
Yes, I've not heard about this one, and it's also in the 70s. October 27th, 1974, the Aveley alien abduction case from Aveley, Essex, UK.
This is a wild one. So BEAMS, the British Earth and Aerial Mystery Society, it was founded in the 90s, 91. And this is one of their big cases. Scroll down just a little bit. On late Sunday evening, October 27th, 1974, run-of-the-mill Essex family were driving a route between Harold Hill and Aveley to see relatives. The Avis family, consisting of John and his wife Elaine, they had 3 children. They were on Hackton Lane, about 1 mile out from Hornchurch, with, for them, the roads noticeably quiet, even for a Sunday night. Elaine, that's the wife, she recalled the car jerking violently as the mist curled around their car at a point in the journey. It was Kevin, the only one of the children awake, who asked his parents about a light he could see above the country lane houses. Collins reports, glancing around, both John and Elaine at an angle of about 25 degrees, 30 degrees above the skyline, an oval-shaped, pale blue, iridescent light like a big star over the top of the houses to their left. So these people got in their car on the way to go see relatives.
5 of them. So it's a full car.
Full car, very full car. Family member that this big star seemed to be traveling in the same direction as the car, stopping and starting as it moved. The light seemed to stay with them, but for periods where rows of trees in the county lanes would obscure the view, at which times in the early stages they would relax, thinking it may have gone. They thought it might have been a helicopter, but they pretty soon figured out it was a UFO.
Yeah, I would first think it's a helicopter too, always.
So once they cleared the last of the houses and were in open countryside, they were approaching country lanes near Upminster at around 30 miles per hour when they had a terrible feeling that something was wrong. Suddenly, the engine and tires went silent, and the only sound that could be heard was from their radio. Then, as they went through a bend on Aveley Road, they could see no more than 30 yards in front of them, and covering the whole road, a thick mist or a fog described as a dense green and banked about 8 to 9 feet high.
Wow. So there's the mist and the fog again.
An illustration of what they would have seen. Yeah.
Weird.
Wow. Just as the mist was seen by the family, the radio started crackling and smoking, which caused John to pull out his wires. Its wires. Different time where you could just yank out. You go, oh god, the radio's making noise. You yank it out.
It was smoking though. I mean, that is bizarre.
Yeah, they were engulfed by the fog. Car jerked violently. Mist curled around the car. 2 children asleep. One of them was awake. That's Kevin. John and Elaine recall it was very light inside the fog and that they felt very cold. A tingling sensation was felt and there was dead silence. They recall being in the mist for what seemed like a second or two before they were out. There was a jolt described as like a car going over a humpback bridge, very British, and then the mist was gone. They hit a speed bump is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I don't know what a humpback bridge is, but I'm pretty sure that's a speed bump for us Americans here, America. Elaine remembered asking, is everybody there? With herself and John feeling both very nervous and frightened, although no ill effects were remembered and the 2 children aside from Kevin still asleep. The couple don't recall talking a large amount about what had happened. The situation instead provoked a let's just get home atmosphere. The couple expected to be around 10:20 when they arrived home, 10:20 p.m. But instead it was 1 a.m., leaving around 3 hours the couple could not account for. Missing time. This seems to always happen with abduction scenarios. But it gets weirder. The family reported unnerving incidents around the home after the encounter, including an object levitating. There were noticeable changes in the family following an incident, Collins reports. Before Christmas that year, John had a nervous breakdown and stopped working before later taking on a job working with mentally handicapped people, something he wanted to do for years. The job fell into his lap, a different direction from his usual carpentry and construction work. He would also begin writing poems about life. Elaine started attending college and reportedly grew in confidence.
Interesting.
So these people had their whole lives essentially rewritten after this happened. This is a big one. John and Elaine stopped eating meat and became far more health conscious in their nutrition, with the taste of meat or fish now making them ill. And whereas before the incident, they would enjoy a good drink, the couple would now not touch a drop of alcohol. The couple reportedly also became very environmentally conscious, with John quitting his 60 to 70 a day smoking habit.
Oh my God.
My God. Here's another big one. Kevin's reading age at school was reportedly well beyond his years, whereas prior to the incident, it had been reported as backwards of his age. He was slow, he went the opposite direction, became a very good reader. Family reported unnerving incidents around the home after the encounter, including object levitating, clicking noises, and the sound of Morse code. And young Kevin reportedly seen a strange figure beside his bed on one occasion, similar in looks to that of a clown. Do you remember Sam, the sundown clown, or whatever it was? Remember that? We covered that story a long time.
Yeah. The clown,
the robot clown thing.
So I would like to see where this kid is at now.
Yeah, which unfortunately I don't think we're going to know. Which is good. You know, you don't want that something that happened in your childhood to be following you, throughout your whole life.
Yeah.
There's a diagram of, the road and everything.
Where it stopped, where they saw.
But yeah, I mean, this whole family clearly got abducted and their whole lives turned around. And it even gets weirder. So the couple, John and Elaine, admitted to strange dreams in which creatures would examine them on long tables and other versions of that ilk. At this point, Collins, who is the researcher, sought hypnotist Leonard Wilder to query the couple's subconscious and see if these dreams were masking real abduction memories. John agreed to hypnosis, and Elaine declined at first. She wanted to move on. It was decided hypnotizing Kevin was not an option due to his age and the impression any memories might leave. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. John, who went up under hypnosis first, began to remember that as the car entered the mist, he found himself in a big room with tall, and in quotes, peaceful beings in one-piece colorless suits. John recalled that they had pink eyes and communicated by telepathy. They put him on a table and ran a bar-like instrument over his body. He asked them where they came from. They showed him a map, but not a map. Very common with abduction scenarios. And they're really happy to show where they're from, but they don't give any proof. I mean, Betty Hill from the Betty and Barney Hill abduction, she was shown a 3D map of where they were from.
Yeah, but they don't really say where they're from.
Right.
Yeah.
They showed him a map, but not a map, and gave an explanation of which he could only remember the word Phobos, which I believe is a moon of Mars.
Yeah.
They travel, he was told, almost instantaneously. They explained how, but he could not understand. A small being was present at the table. It had fur-like covering. Hey, hair-covered aliens. Got a light.
Got a light.
And made chirping sounds. It served the tall beings.
Huh.
So it looks like they kept interviewing John and hypnotizing him.
Yeah.
He was in a room, a very large room, an examiner that was smaller than us, in quotes, with big eyes and a mouth not like ours examined him. And there's a picture here, which basically looks like someone in scrubs.
Yeah,
with a little bit larger than usual eyes.
Yeah.
Tall beings had no visible mouths. John understood that their propulsion system used a magnetic vortex, though he had begun to mutter somewhat incoherently at his responses at this point. So he's under hypnosis. He only countered 3 of the tall beings and only one communicated with him. When John was asked the reason for the beings' visit to Earth, he replied, "No visit. They are here always." The call was coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
Asked where they came from, he said there was no need for them to say, and that they have no need to return home. They have more than one. Their home. They have more than one base. He was brought out of hypnosis. He felt like he was prevented from saying anything more. Just breezing through this here in my head. Collins kept in touch with the family. Oh, John and Elaine separated.
Oh, of course. All right, so they.
The aliens,
they all different emotions. They all different motivations now in life. They were changed, right?
Yeah, the aliens rewrote them, and man, that's tough. 3 kids, and your life is completely and utterly changed. This is why, as much as we brought it up earlier, as much as I love hearing about abduction cases, it ruins your life. They're fun to read about and fun to study, but the people who get abducted, their lives are completely ruined.
So the kids, I mean, age 10, 11, and 7.
Wow.
Kevin, Karen, Stewart. Well, if anyone knows what they're doing now, hit us up.
Yeah, let us know. We'd love to talk to you guys. We won't harass you.
I mean, maybe these guys started up Fortune 500 companies. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I mean
that one guy went from not reading to reading beyond his grade, right?
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. Kevin sounds like he became smart, and if he's smart, he would stay out of the limelight.
True. Yeah. He'd probably change his name.
Cool
case. Never heard of it.
Cool case. Yeah.
Also, in the 70s.
Yeah, 70s were a wild time for UFO abductions.
So it looks like these guys have a lot of cases, and it's only British, obviously, right?
They must have covered the Sundown Clown.
That was such a weird one. We covered it.
We did cover it. It's a very fun one.
Oh, they're going through delivering evidence, misidentification, real. Cool. Well, they're still around. That's great to know.
Yeah.
Their website is totally 90s.
Keep it up, Beams.
Yeah, keep it up.
Definitely update your website. Okay, I sent this to you, and once again, I love abduction scenarios. I love possessions. Basically, anytime the human brain doesn't function as it's properly supposed to because of outside influences, I find that a very fascinating subject. I really wanted to be a psychologist when I was in college. I don't know if I've told you that. I love study of human nature, and this is, I don't know how. I don't know. Do you believe in, demons and being?
Yeah. I mean, I believe in something that can be a negative force. That can latch onto you. So yeah, in a sense, yeah.
But do you believe in like they can take over bodies and speak in Latin and all this other stuff?
I mean, if that person gave like permission, then yes. But I don't think it'll just happen by force.
Yeah.
Although I don't like to speak in absolutes either, so I can't really rule that out. But just the way it works, like in the spirit world, or from what I've experienced in life, is that you have to be open to it and you have to invite it, kind of thing. If it's spiritual.
So this is a rare recording of a demon speaking during the exorcism of Anneliese Mitchell in Germany, 1975 to 1976.
Here we go in the 70s again. We didn't do this by purpose or anything, but I have to say I listened to her voice and it's weird.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
And you can't. I don't know if you can even act that.
Yeah.
Ja, aber die wenigste beten. Ja. Und in der Kirche wird am allerwenigsten gebeten, weil die Herr Pfarrer ja das für unmodern hat. Ja. Ja. Fast. Die sind ja so blöd, wenn sie eine Ahnung haben. Warum? Ja, warum? Nein, ich sag's nicht. Weil er eine starke hat. Ja. Weil er eine starke Waffe ist. Gegen Satan und alle Dämonen. Ja, gegen uns.
Sounds like a cat.
Der Rosenkreuz ist eine gewaltige Macht gegen Satan und alle Dämonen. Glauben. Haltet ihr nur volles Weiberzeug. Wer ist der Schuld daran? Ja.
What you're about to hear is an actual recording from the exorcisms.
How is that happening to the voice? It sounds all digital.
Yeah, man. I don't know. So for those of you, hopefully you're watching this podcast and not listening, because if you're listening, that was a whole lot of nothing. This is obviously in German, but there are subtitles that I believe are translated properly. Truthfully, they could be talking about a really cool syrup recipe, and I would have no idea.
Right.
I don't know a lick of German except for yeah. That means yes. Oh yeah, it's a very
good
time.
Guten
It's
Morgen.
a very good time being exercised
Guten
by
Nacht.
demons.
Hey, don't make fun of Germans.
We don't want the Fourth Reich.
So I guess this is a better quality one, and it sounds digital when she speaks.
It definitely, like, it sounds like, remember all those myths, like if you play a Black Sabbath record backwards, it's in Latin and it's about praising the devil and stuff like that. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Weird.
Oh, wait,
it sounds like that.
The fun thing about German is even if someone, is saying really nice things, it sounds like they're yelling at you.
It does. It has that effect. Yeah.
Very, very harsh language. Snitching ass demon. Yeah, I don't know the veracity of this.
It's a weather balloon.
Exorcisms are wild. I don't know how widely used they are now by the Catholic Church, especially. I know
100% this comment. I thought that too.
Yeah. But I mean, it goes, we talked about this last week where the aliens don't like it if you start, because we were talking about,
Yeah.
we showed that guy on Reddit who was asking for advice how to
Right.
not be abducted anymore.
Yeah.
One of the replies was pray to Jesus, pray to Jesus. They hate that. And it's the exact same thing that's happening now. Is this woman who is supposedly possessed by a demon, you know, is saying essentially the same thing that most people don't really believe anymore. So they won, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, have your rosary ready and start praying, because demons hate that.
Yeah, they do. They do. And the Catholic Church has been doing this for
long
centuries.
time.
Right. So Gary Nolan, he did an interview, but there's a great clip here. He basically talks about disclosure and when it happens, well, you know, what can we expect? He's saying disclosure already happened, but he has a great take on disclosure.
Okay.
Governmental information. Why, if they have it already, why haven't they disclosed it? But let's say that day 2 comes. How do you envision humans really engaging with this new reality? And also, how do you think we should change, or how we would change pragmatically?
Well, I think day 2 is, let's call it a more sober reflection on the matter. And the hysterics are gone. I think day 2, the majority of the world goes back to living its life and wondering about where its food comes from, who's going to put, you know, dinner on the table. Oh, it's tomorrow. I have to take the trash out. You know, I think that's day 2, because for most people, it will mean nothing. It will mean nothing. You know, I mean, the people that it matters to are the ones who look to take advantage of it. Right? So I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean that in a positive sense. That, okay, there's something here. What's in it for me? What's in it for the country? What's in it for my family? What's in it for the planet? So that's the conversation. And so actually it ends up looping right back to what humans have been dealing with every day for all of reality, is how do I invest in potential? Right? And that means, okay, if there's a technology that we can take advantage of, can I convince them to give it to me? Do any of our monetary consequences mean anything to them?
No.
I'll give you $1 trillion. All right. Yeah. Well, if we do the conversion rate, you know, from our point of view, it's 1/10 of a penny. Your money means nothing to us. So, you know, what's the currency of the discussion? And so, I mean, that's the first thing you have to ask. And so I think at best, we have nothing to give them. Nothing.
Well, that's not true. From what we've been researching, there's definitely something. I mean, it's probably both physical, which I would say is like, you know, I'm sorry to say, is like body parts and blood and genetic stuffs, right? In our DNA and our sperm and our eggs. Yeah. So there is. They just don't outright say it. So yeah, there is something they want, but will they give us the technology for it? Well, actually, but isn't that the basis behind the whole Eisenhower thing too? That his agreement with them,
right? But you know, it seems like they got the better end of the deal, because where's my flying car that has 0 emissions?
Yeah, right, exactly. Oh yeah, where's my my power station for my house? That's,
right.
You know, that cube that can just power up everything for free. Yeah.
Well, I mean, seriously, because it's not like, you know, the aliens came down and said only your top 0.1% of people get to have this, but also you have to rape little kids.
For us, yeah, exactly. Or they're copying them. You know, they're like, well, you know, if they're extracting blood and using something, you know, we can do it too, or we should do it.
Yeah, I mean, it goes into the whole adrenochrome. You know, I won't say conspiracy theory, because it doesn't seem like much of a theory these days.
No, it doesn't. Oh wait, he's gonna say something interesting. So what we just said.
And so, you know, what's in it for them then to give us anything? other than goodwill and the hope that there is goodwill, right? And so I think that that's kind of where you have to start this discussion. And I think then, at best, we take advantage only by mimicry.
There it is. So
nice.
we mimic them, right? So he's talking about technology, but they could be socially mimicking them.
God,
if they can get away with this shit.
If these aliens are out raping little kids, man, you know what? All this abduction stuff being fun to read about, I take it back.
Yeah, I mean, dude. Okay, it goes back now to like even the Abrahamic religion past, right? Weren't they sacrificing children to God, and then God stopped? I think it was Abraham, right? Stopped. He finally stopped. All right, no, that's it. No more sacrificing, to your Lord. Is it any different?
Yeah,
it seems like it's like a common theme.
Yeah, man, oh man, disturbing stuff.
I know. Okay, let's not get dark here. So,
by seeing what it is that they can do, if they can show us what they can do, maybe we can figure out how they do it. Knowing that somebody can move faster than light, if that's, let's say, something that they have, or saying that they have some way to negate gravity, just the most extreme examples, tells any good scientist, okay, well, it's possible. Okay, so if I can get a piece of one of their craft, let's say, maybe I can find the principle within there that leads to the technology revolutions that eventually allow me to do it as well one day.
Yeah, we do see that happening for sure. Last week we talked about Merrick's interview with Kirkpatrick, and we showed some clips.
Yes,
so the whole interview's out, and I just saw this, by the way, so I don't know if we'll get lucky in getting some snips from here, but it's the entire interview, or we can just leave it for.
Yeah, I think we should leave it for our audience.
Yeah,
because
we're not ready.
We talked a lot. We talked at length about all the different lies that Kirkpatrick got caught in during this interview.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Everything he lied about. He goes, oh wait, I didn't. When he talked about that, he read the NASA report, and that's where he got his conclusions from the Go Fast craft. And then he goes, oh yeah, I didn't read the NASA report. Yeah, that was one of them. And gimbal being in the daytime is like, no, actually it was at night. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the guy had no idea. I mean, he was just lying out of his mouth.
They love those guys.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's from the debrief.
NASA veterans' propellantless propulsion drive that physics says shouldn't work just produced enough thrust to overcome Earth's gravity.
Isn't that nuts?
It's so cool, man.
I mean, you don't even need gases, nothing. It just propels itself.
Dr. Charles Buhler, a NASA engineer and the co-founder of Exodus Propulsion Technologies, has revealed that his company's propellantless propulsion drive, which appears to defy the known laws of physics, has produced enough thrust to counteract Earth's gravity. A veteran of such storied programs as NASA Space Shuttle, the ISS, the Hubble Telescope, and the NASA DUST program, Buhler and his colleagues believe that their discovery of a fundamental new force represents a historic breakthrough that will impact space travel for the next millennium.
That is, so why is this just on the debrief? I mean, sorry, debrief is a good publication, but I'm saying, why isn't this like big news?
I was going to say, this feels like something that should be everywhere. I mean, this is huge.
Yeah, the new discovery of a new force is fundamental, and electric fields alone can generate a sustainable force onto an object and allow center of mass translation of said object without expelling mass.
I'm curious, how does it like, I mean, I obviously won't break down the technical details, but does it say how it works? Because this is a huge deal. I am truly amazed this is not bigger news.
Anti-Gravity Club. The company's called Exodus, and here's his presentation.
Electrostatics. So there is energy that has to be put into it, obviously, and it seems like it's electricity.
Yeah. Electrostatics. A quick look. No, that's his background. Okay, also his background. So so something from nature. He goes, nature has its own way of doing things, Butler explained, and it is our job to uncover what nature does. It just happens to fall into my lap in what I'm the expert in. All right, it just happened, to fall into my lap.
The device and thrust. I'm going to read this really quick in my head. That doesn't tell anything.
Blah, 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 mathematics.
Yeah, coming years. No, this doesn't say anything.
Yeah, it's not. Told a debrief. All right, no.
Yeah.
The
aim is to approach and exceed unity. Millinewtons.
10 million newtons.
It doesn't. He's just talking about how much force it generates, but it doesn't say how it's generating the force.
I wonder if he's scared. Custom-made vacuum chamber. All right.
TMOS test different configurations of asymmetrical capacitors, employed models with opposing asymmetrical plates. That doesn't tell me anything.
So here's the next phase.
High vacuum testing. Yeah, I mean, because they want it to work in space, obviously.
Yeah.
Our materials are composed of many types of charge carrier. Okay, so it has something to do with electricity.
Yeah, and grabbing the electricity from the environment.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting stuff.
With an end seeming sight. All right, here we go. A quick look at a chart he presented to APEC shows that tests performed between early 2022 and 2023 resulted in a rapid climb, moving from 1,000th, 100th, and even 1/10 of gravity all the way up to 1 full Earth gravity. This means that their current devices, which Burler told the debrief, weigh somewhere between 30 to 40 grams on their own. Without the attached test equipment, we're producing enough thrust to counteract the full force of 1 Earth gravity. Well, here's the graph.
Right. I mean, he's just talking about the testing, though. Yeah. Okay. So something. He's pulling this device, pulls electricity out of nature, and it creates thrust somehow.
Yeah. Quantum drive.
But like, oh man, this is really. I have so many questions after. Of course, there's aliens in the freaking slideshow.
Damn, humans made a black hole again.
This creates more questions for me.
Yeah.
Because an object, as far as I know, can't create thrust without expelling something. So is it like is it like fire, like combustion?
It's using the quantum.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Like, yeah, because the quantum we can't see anyway.
Huh.
When asked for competing companies, says other companies doing this.
So, like, if you put this on the side of a ship and stuck it out, you would just see a ship floating.
Right. It'll just, propellantless.
There's something going on here. I don't buy that one bit.
They want companies to license their technology. Well, there's quantized inertia. I wonder if it's the same thing. Because there is a quantized inertia that even SpaceX put up as an experiment.
Like it has to at least like push air down, right?
No, it uses something else.
But it doesn't.
Here he is. You want to listen to him?
No, I don't buy Butler's
explanation. We're hoping to do some demos, some space demos. That's what we're trying to get some funding to do. I think that would be a great way to show off the technology.
Huh.
You can't deny this. There's not a lot to this. You're just charging up Teflon, copper tape, and foam, and you have this thrust. Huh?
See, I don't know. I'm assuming this experiment is very, very small.
Oh, you mean, yeah, when he said like 30, 40 grams, right?
Like physically small.
Yeah. As far as his own thoughts about the nature of the force his team has uncovered, the refreshingly honest NASA veteran demurred, saying only that he believes scientists beside himself are in the perfect position to test and study the results and to come up with the answers. So that's how he answered. So, but QED is here. So it is quantized inertia. Is that like,
Oh man,
let me search quantized.
Very cool. I hope we get to see more of this in the future. Because right now, this article just has me asking more and more questions.
Yeah. And of course, they never really reveal. They're probably scared someone will take their idea.
Right. Well, he says how easy it is putting a charge to whatever he said, copper and foam.
Wait.
I'm Tim Ventura, and we're joined today by Dr. Charles Bewley. As things stand, this is fully protected, not only based on what you've observed.
Well, from what we know, if it's fully protected, it's not using classified technology, or he's just, he's a NASA guy. Of course he's allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Also, the model that you've created to optimize it for propulsion applications, right?
Yeah, I think that's what makes this unique among other potential discoveries in this field is that we have a theory, we test to the theory, then the theory leads to a model, the model leads to computations, and then the engineering leads to the design. So you have to have those three things working in conjunction to have a path forward, at least in my opinion.
He's still not
answering. This was the part that blew me away. This is incredibly exciting. And this goes to what you were saying about optimizing it and building the model. So let me share that. So in terms of propulsive force, you have built several hundred experimental device variations. And between 2014 and 2021, and I think that this graph reflects that, they all produced what appears to be less than 1,000th of an Earth gravity of force. Now that changed in 2021, and you have rapidly increased up to slightly over 1G of force. So can you tell me what led to this dramatic increase in propulsive force output? And also, how much farther do you think you might be able to take this using current design and technology?
Sure. So what we have here, like I said, is a graph of our progress. It doesn't represent all of the tests, and it certainly doesn't represent all of the models that we've tested. That's numbers close to 1,000. But here's a few select that we put together just to kind of show the highlight of the progress. So from 2016 to 2020, like I said, those are basically the conventional asymmetrical capacitors that you'd see in the textbooks. With a twist, we encased them, and I don't think they've ever been encased, in styrofoam to make sure that they didn't leak charge. We definitely did that on purpose, and they still worked. So that's kind of what sets us apart from the old T. Thomas Brown stuff. A lot of that stuff was in air with tens of thousands of volts. We shy away from that. We go to much lower voltage, and we try to encapsulate everything. The big advantage, the big jump in 2020, 2021 was a few things. The first thing was the presence of the high vacuum system. So now once we move things into high vacuum, now you can eliminate some of the sources of noise and errors, like the ion wind.
He's not getting to what I want. I thought he was going to answer your question. I thought he was going to answer your question there about thrust.
No, God, no, of course not. Let's move on. I mean, this is fascinating stuff, but very little actual information is being revealed here.
He's not telling us much. He just basically wants funding, and he wants other companies to license it.
Yep.
This is just a quick one. I sent this to you. Scientific American. This is the headline. It goes, nope.
Very scientific, by the way.
Yeah. It goes, nope. It's never aliens. Claims of alien starships visiting Earth always fall short, but people still fall for them. So, Scientific American, this is how they start out their article, and this guy goes through. Look at him. I grew up believing in UFOs. I watched TV, blah blah blah. He goes through that. Now he goes through, UFO history, UAPs, why they're called UAPs now, and he goes through Go Fast and Gimbal, right, and FLIR, called FLIR, Go Fast, and Gimbal. He uses Mick West in the article. There he goes. Mick West, a retired computer programmer and prominent UFO skeptic, has examined the videos, and people have proven that his examinations of Gimbal and Go Fast are completely batshit crazy.
If you're such a weak-willed person that your opinion is swayed by Mick West, you don't deserve to be a journalist. And this is why journalism is dying, is articles like this.
Yeah. And just they're government mouthpieces, and Mick West is there conveniently for them to use, with his investigations.
Yep.
Into these. But, good on the Washington Examiner. They came out with this. The scientific problem with nope, it's never aliens, which is really great.
Nice little clap back there.
I know. What is this?
No, not that. I just mean the article.
Oh, yes, it is. He goes, your argument isn't off to a great start when you undermine it in your title.
Yep.
So, and who's this? Tom Rogan. Rogan? Really? Well, and he goes through and basically tells him it's not very scientific for you to just make that conclusion. And then, where is it? Oh, yeah. So this speaks to the central problem with the UFO subject, the overconfidence of those who consider it. On one side are those UFO enthusiasts who fixate on believing every spy balloon is an extra-dimensional, extraterrestrial, or extratemporal craft. These individuals become angry when journalists, such as myself, report that some strange UFOs are as distinctly terrestrial in origin. Too many UFO enthusiasts also see government secrecy on UFOs as inherent evidence of a conspiracy. And while a conspiracy of small groups cannot be ruled out, a grand conspiracy would have leaked. And it has leaked. Hello. Most government UFO-related secrecy is designed certain programs classified that are totally unrelated to UFOs, but very much related to aerospace activity. On the other side are the journalists and scientists who fixate on believing that a wealth of credible witnesses and historic data sets amount to little more than clouds, balloons, and obsessive delusion. Or, as Plate puts it, who wrote the Scientific American article, UFO-related reporting, quote, is all still just the same breathless headlines and lack of substance behind them. There is no there. So he goes through the whole Mick West thing. And then basically goes to that UFOs still remain unexplained, that no one has explained a lot of these things, right? Going back decades. And Plate's centering claim is that Occam's razor, the well-worn rule of thumb for scientific inquiry, applies well here. The simplest explanation is usually the best. So what would be the simplest explanation for all those?
Well, that there's something out there that we can't explain.
Yeah. So he goes because the Scientific American does not account for all the radar, sonar, and satellite and other sensor returns that happen with these cases. Apparently showing objects exhibiting maneuvers far beyond contemporary science and sometimes evading military intercepts. Records released under the Freedom of Information Act offer a litany of these reports from various military and government agencies. Yeah, so he's basically saying, that guy started out with that conclusion. With that title, and then concluded that way as well, using Mick West and not really using any other evidence. So it's just embarrassing that the Scientific American journal would release something like that. But it's typical.
Yeah, it's journalism, man.
This job sucks and it's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they leave and do something else and something better. Oh, that's right. So you sent me this, but Lou Elizondo had his book leaked out on Google Books. It's been taken down, by the way.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. But yeah, a lot of the things in his book have leaked. This is something we've talked about on so many different episodes.
Yeah.
But Lou Elizondo experienced visiting orbs multiple times at home, and there's some excerpts posted. This was on Reddit, my least favorite website. One over time, more orbs appeared in our home, not too frequently. A whole month might go by, and then one would arrive. Since our orbs manifested as clear or green, I did not feel compelled to warn my family to avoid them. I didn't want to frighten them further. As far as I knew, only blue was problematic. Yeah, very cool.
So he grew up in that house?
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, here's another.
He never had any interaction with orbs until, scroll to the top of that little thing real quick, until he started working with the program. He was shocked to find a lot of his colleagues had began experiencing firsthand some of the orbs in their homes. So it wasn't just him, it was a lot of people. One evening, a green glowing ball, probably about the size of a basketball, with soft edges that weren't defined, floated down slowly from our kitchen to our bedroom door just below the ceiling light, then disappeared into a wall. The object had been three-dimensional, but still translucent and suffused with an eerie green light. The object behaved as if guided by some intelligence. This is, again, I'll always do it. I'll always bring up Skinwalker Ranch, but this is, I mean, one for one, this is the exact kind of thing that was happening at Skinwalker Ranch as well.
Yeah, and that, who's that guy that they made commit suicide? Benowitz or something. Yeah, they saw that in his house too when they went to investigate him.
Yeah,
and they wouldn't tell him.
But I mean, his whole family were seeing these things. His kids reported seeing an orb appear in the air, hover near them for a few seconds, and float away. Yeah, man.
Did they go through walls?
Probably. Yeah, go through walls. Yeah.
So anyway, his book is out, I think, in August or October, but it's coming up soon. But yeah, it was all over the internet. People just completely screenshotted everything, investigated everything. Of course, the debunkers were making fun of it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It just seems to go, it seems to show that when you start seriously researching UFOs in an official capacity, you get researched back.
Yeah, something happens.
Yeah.
To you. Yeah, for sure. Richard Geldrich from X, we used to share. I mean, we share stuff all the time on the show. He said because he started investigating and going deep, some weird things started happening to him, and just random stuff. And it's not always the same thing. It could be just some strange individual that just sits next to him, kind of thing. Or maybe people become more aware when they start researching this.
Yeah, your perception changes or something, and you start seeing things on a different level. More stuff about Nazca, it looks like here.
Yeah, the Nazca mummies.
Mystery around controversial Peru alien mummies deepens after new fingerprint analysis indicates they're not human.
So they got fingerprints too?
Good Lord.
Very I mean, could you imagine if it's a hoax? Like to even like go through that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems so, and it looks so goofy on the surface, but the more studies that they do on these things, there's just more stuff that makes it real. Like there was the pregnant one, now there's fingerprints. Like you're telling me some, asshole went out in the woods and went out in the jungle and created these things and put fingerprints on them? There's no way.
Right, that the Peru government wants to take back.
The CIA showing up, offering to help out. Yeah,
exactly. That is really weird. Yeah, just more evidence every week that comes out with that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that our first UFO? Look at this great picture, guys. America's first UFO sighting was in this Massachusetts city 400 years ago.
Yeah, I saw
Boston.
I saw the title of this article and I had to laugh because there's no way this one was the first. Probably the first that's written. Yeah. Boston.
Yeah, in Boston. So not 1947. Boston is the home of the first sighting in the U.S. The first UFO report came from Boston, Massachusetts in 1639.
Man, we weren't even a country yet.
Nope. We were still a colony. A British colony. No, wait, that sounds Scottish.
You're A for effort.
I think the Scottish accent's a bit easier for me at least.
I cannot do
me.
I can't do any European accents except for weird stereotypical German.
You can do Russian accent.
Like I'm kind of do a Russian accent.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's a good one.
That's not. Right. That's East Europe. That's a very, very Eastern Europe.
So this is from the then mayor of Boston, John Winthrop, via his journal. Everill, who was a sober, discreet man, and 2 other men were rowing their boat on the muddy river toward the Charles. Yep, toward the Charles River, when they saw a light like nothing ever seen in the night sky before. Averill and the other men were in their boat for more than 2 hours and watched as the light moved incredibly quick between Boston and neighboring cities 2 or so miles away. What helped to bring credibility to Averill's story was that there were diverse other credible persons who also saw the light during this time period. Now, in the 1600s, that'll be weird to see, don't you think? Just like bright light and then quickly going from city to city.
Because you don't have the excuse to go like, oh, that's a drone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a balloon.
Chinese lantern. Oh, maybe it was a Chinese lantern in the 1600s. I bet you they had those.
Not in the U.S. They didn't. We didn't import Chinese stuff until the 1900s. I'm just making that.
Oh yeah. Well, when did we build the railroads? That's when they.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Right? Was that 1700s? Maybe.
I don't know. Did you know the oldest Chinese restaurant is in Montana? The oldest American Chinese restaurant is in Montana, and it's like in Butte or something.
You're kidding me. Wait, what's that show on HBO? Is that called Westwood?
Is it about cowboys and stuff like Yellowstone? You're talking about?
No, not Yellowstone. It's Westwood, and it is about cowboys, but it was about city gold. I don't think it was California. I think it was in Montana, and there was a Chinese community in there.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I know the Chinese built the railroads all over the western United States.
Right. And then a second UFO sighting was reported in Boston 5 years later in 1644.
In 1644, 2 strange lights converged in the sky to form the likeness of a human. Oh my God. What?
That's like the hand thing, huh?
Yeah, that's so cool.
So 5 years later.
While the location was not the same as where it was for Averill's sighting, it was over a body of water.
Of course.
Something we always see with UFOs. 3 men who were coming into Boston via a boat. God, they love their boats in the 1600s.
It's like dolphins.
Around midnight, never mind, whatever. 1600s were a different time. They saw 2 bright lights come out of the water and into the sky. When this occurred, the lights moved to the town cove and formed the shape of a man. The lights went at a small distance into town, and so to the south point, and there vanished away. Weird. Very, very weird.
Yeah. Ignis fatuus, or light that calmly glows in marshlands. Oh, okay.
Oh, they're talking about swamp farts.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. That is a real thing that happens, but swamp farts don't fly around like UFOs.
Oh, and then, so this is from the U.S. Sun. Coming soon, Sci-Fly new Jetson law paves the way for flying cars from August 1st and will allow future aircraft to be classed as vehicles. So
I can't wait to do my hour and 45-minute drive into work just to see the elite, laying in the backseat of their flying car eating caviar.
Well, that's exactly what's going to happen.
That's exactly, that's what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, it's going to be only them on those roads, and not the plebes.
Not us. Please.
Yeah. Right. And
hey, you know what? I've got a call to action to all of our listeners. Donate to us so we can infiltrate the upper class and we'll take them down.
I wonder how many people have said that. Trump.
there's always every single one of them.
Obama.
And then you go to Epstein's Island on accident and had sex with
a kid. Wait, what plane is this? Oh, come on, guys. No. Sorry, you're on the manifest.
And then you get punched in the eye and you've got a black eye and everyone's like, what? Why do all these old rich people have black eyes? What's going on there?
Maybe the ones with the black eyes are the ones that fought and wanted to get off the plane.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Who knows?
Those are the good guys.
Right. I doubt it because there's so many bad people with black eyes.
Yeah, very true. And the only ones who ever get any power are the worst people ever.
Right.
So that's cool. I mean, I think this is the 3rd state that made this law. So now they're making roads in the sky. These are virtual roads, of course.
I can't imagine anything more depressing than sitting in traffic in the fucking sky.
Could you? I think if it's in the sky, there's no traffic, right?
You could go anywhere, and you're stuck behind some idiot who's watching TV instead of paying attention to the road.
And especially that it's virtual, it might still have traffic. You know,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to leave that box.
Just unbelievable.
Minnesota.
But I mean, they're laying the forgive the anti-pun groundwork for these flying cars.
They are. So if we have states enacting these laws, it's coming because we know where all these laws come from. It's corporations. These guys don't do anything. Everything is handed to them. Here you go, Mr. Representative. This is what we want. Please pass it. Please and thank you.
And also, here's a bunch of money to your reelection campaign, and
course.
also a job for when you retire from Congress.
Right. You'll be a consultant or a seat on the board. You know, it's an easy, nice $200,000 a year.
Yeah, God. I mean, it's so sickening to.
I know. I mean, if you get on 5 boards after you're a politician, that's $1 million a month. I'm sorry, a year, $1 million a year, just being on boards.
Ay caramba.
I know. So why do we blame them?
Anyway, exciting stuff. Once again, I'm really excited to see all these rich people flying their cyber cars while I'm stuck on the fucking freeway.
We are at 2 hours, which is shocking. We've only gone through half. I mean, the rest of the stuff is political things. Like here's one for Crooks. They found out that he had connections with people in the FBI because they tracked their cell phones, and he was going back and forth. This is from the Oversight Project, July 22nd. We found the assassin's connections through our in-depth analysis of mobile ad data to track movements of Crooks and his associates.
I thought he didn't have any associates.
Right. Oh yeah. To do this, we tracked devices that regularly visited both Crooks' home and place of work, and then followed them. Someone who regularly visited Crooks' home and work also visited a building in Washington, D.C. located in Gallery Place. This is in the same vicinity of an FBI office on June 26, 2023. Whose device is this?
Oh, it's Joe Smith, who happens to also work in Virginia.
Isn't that such a coincidence?
Yeah, weird. Funny how that works.
Another device linked to Crooks visited Plymouth, Massachusetts. So there's another one that traveled. Wow. I mean, I thought the guy was a loner. I thought, he didn't have any help or anything.
Sure.
We found a device linked to Crooks' work that traveled to Butler, Pennsylvania on July 4th and July 8th. This device stopped all activity on July 12th, one day before the assassination attempt.
Oh, weird. That's a funny coincidence.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Unless the guy was carrying around with him 5 phones and he was traveling across the country.
Yeah, who knows?
On August 30th, 2023, one device linked to Crooks visited Allegheny Arms. I guess that's where he practiced or he
bought his gun. Just judging on the guy's picture, I can't decide if he was bullied too much or not bullied enough.
Bullying is so wrong, isn't it? I mean,
it is, but also, I mean, have you seen kids out there? Some kids need a good bullying.
Yeah, but maybe made them like that, or maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's tough. I mean, I was not bullied because I always took care of it right from the beginning, but because I changed school, it's easy when you're the new kid, But I just immediately would just lash out and be a crazy person, and they'll leave me alone. And it's easy to get rid of a bully. Don't take it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I was never. I mean, I'm not trying to say I was a cool kid or anything, but I was never bullied. I was never in a position to be bullied. I mean, it helped. I played sports, my whole
that
life.
helped too. So yeah, if you're good at sports, that's really a good one. I mean, I was great at sports too. That always helps. You're part of the cool kids.
Yeah,
and I always felt bad for the ones being bullied. I tried my best to protect them.
But I mean, maybe I was just blind to it. But I don't remember seeing bullying. I mean, yeah, there's people who get made fun of, but I mean, that's everybody. I mean, I definitely got made fun of. I made fun of people too. I don't know if that's bullying. And by made fun of, I mean, it's stuff.
I think it becomes really bad when the entire class starts laughing, kind of thing,
right? And that's something I never saw.
Oh,
I never saw one person get ganged up on by the whole, class.
All right, that's important then.
Yeah.
Then this map here's all the relevant locations within Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. There are linked to both Crook's home and place of work. So these guys really did some great work. JD Sharp, this is why. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much weird stuff about Trump's assassination attempts that we're just never going to know. It's the same. This is, like the Vegas shooting. None of it adds up. It doesn't make any sense, and it's going to get buried. It's already been forgotten about. I mean, we had an assassination attempt on one of our presidential candidates, and no one. It's all about Kamala right now. No one gives a shit.
Oh my god! Wait, you sent me one about. We got a ton of Kamala stuff.
You mean Heels Up Harris?
That's funny.
That's what I'm calling her from now on.
Heels Up Harris. Oh yeah. So the media is just here we go. They are making a champion. They are making a candidate.
Yeah,
we're watching a candidate being made in front of our eyes.
It is. If you spend any time on Reddit, it's super obvious. It's obvious to me. I mean, I don't know if you know how Reddit works, but I have an account and like I'm subscribed to certain different subreddits, things I'm interested in. But every other post now is from a subreddit that I'm not subscribed to or have any interest in. And it's all about how great Kamala is, all about how great Heels Up Harris is. And I'm like, why am I seeing this? This is not something I'm subscribed to or care about. It's everywhere. And it's beyond Reddit now, as this post shows. It's very obvious that, I mean, everyone remembers that Heels Up Harris was designated as the border czar. She was in charge of, I mean, it was an official statement. She was in charge of the border.
It was announced by Biden even.
Yeah. All of these news organizations are coming out and saying, no, that never happened. It's just like, how stupid do you think we are? This is an example from a website of Axios. On the left is 2021, says Heels Up Harris, appointed by Biden as border czar. It's underlined there. And then on the right, same article, 2020, not the same article, same website, 2024 by Axios. It says she was never actually appointed the border czar.
Yeah. Which she never actually had.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Everyone's one of the big talking points right now is she's a DEI hire, and everyone's like, no, that was never a thing. But if you go out and find those videos from Biden, he said he specifically was going to nominate a black woman as his vice president.
She's not
before Harris was even in talks about being vice president.
But people predicted this will happen to them, and now they're in this predicament. There's no way she's going to be the nominee. I'm thinking she's not going to be the nominee. There's no way. They'll switch her up by November, I think.
Yeah. And this video highlights the border czar thing even better.
Quote unquote border czar. Vice President Harris was not a border czar.
Meantime, Vice President and border czar Kamala Harris facing some backlash.
What he said about Harris and immigration was not true. She was never appointed border czar.
And this will be her first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border region since she was appointed as the border czar by President Biden.
People gonna have to counter the misinformation. You already hear folks talking about the border czar. She wasn't the border czar.
President Biden tapped Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, to be the border czar.
Now, she wasn't the border czar. That's what Republicans labeled her.
They were very critical of Kamala Harris, especially in her role as border czar.
Now what she's up against is folks lying about her border record, calling her a border czar.
Kamala Harris, who was appointed as the border czar.
The Biden team didn't declare her the border czar. They wanted her to work on kind of the root causes of immigration.
There has been so much criticism against Kamala Harris. She was the border czar.
Calling her sort of the border czar, which wasn't necessarily the case.
So the border, if they weren't planning to address it in a major way, do not make her your border czar. She met with some of the Northern Triangle countries, but nothing has effectively changed.
Oh man, I love the internet, how it just catches the media. That's why the media is dead, because
yeah,
they can't cover that stuff up.
I remember, I remember when Trump was running the first time, he was talking about fake news and he got a lot of flack for it. But I mean, this is exactly why the term fake news came about. And it is fake news. That is proof that the media actively lies. It's not, oh, we forgot that we said this. It's, we know we said this, but we have to change everyone's opinion. So we're going to say
the narrative. Yeah. All about the narrative. That's all it's about. And what they want, what they want you to think like, or how they want you to think. And that's all it's about.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it's propaganda.
absolutely, yeah, and very powerful propaganda. So, after all that corruption, this is not a surprise that we are here. Interest payments on U.S. national debt will shatter $1.1 trillion this year, eating 76% of all income taxes collected. So we're basically bankrupt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$34 trillion now in debt, and it's going up by $1 trillion every, a quarter. So imagine the interest. The interest is more than our defense budget.
It's just absurd.
We're paying private banks that much in interest. Isn't that just insane?
It is insane.
And then I guess this is good after that, because since that the system is collapsing, they want to replace it, and they're going to convince you to replace it. This whole debt-based currency system, they want it to keep going forever. So they do have a plan. Don't think they don't have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And people should be awake to it. Probably CBDCs. And this is Whitney Webb. It's a much longer quote, but I'm sure she has some good.
So if you don't participate in that system, as far as the state or the private sector is concerned, you don't exist. So by not participating in that system, you're inherently excluded from the economic system and really essentially everything. It's going to be a problem, reaction, solution type of situation where they've already made the solution. They've already developed what they want to be the new financial governance system after this new Bretton Woods moment. They just need some sort of big event on the scale of World War II or some large event that's equally disruptive in order to be like, all right, now it's time for a new financial governance system after this big event like they did after World War II.
Mm-hmm. Today we have investigative journalist Whitney Webb. One has warned the world that everyone owned and traded subscribing or liking the
one is essential to the other, using words about, this is inclusionary, the whole, I guess, marketing behind digital ID is that everyone needs a legal ID because otherwise they're unable to access essential services, right? And so the idea is we all have to be included in the system, and they directly link that to the concept of financial inclusion and banking the unbanked, which you brought up earlier. But inherently, these systems actually function in an exclusionary way based on how they've been set up. They have essentially said that this is the only way, this will be the only way to prove you of legal identity. And so if you don't participate in that system, as far as the state or the private sector is concerned, you don't exist. So by not participating in that system, you're inherently excluded from the economic system and really essentially everything. So you have to onboard to the surveillance state or be excluded from everything. So it's, being marketed as inclusion, but it's really inherently exclusionary.
Totally. So how does this system get triggered? How do we move into the Mark Carney-ism?
Well, I think they sort of give it away when they say that this is the new Bretton Woods movement that needs to be seized. So Bretton Woods was what came out of World War II essentially, and was the creation of a new financial governance system after World War II. And this is essentially an effort to create a new financial governance system that was announced well before any sort of crisis like that, but it's probably going to need a crisis of that level to be implemented and to convince people to onboard at scale. And if you subscribe to the theory that all wars are bankers' wars, which there is plenty of evidence to support that, I would say, that seems to suggest that perhaps, this is the it's going to be a problem, reaction, solution type of situation where they've already made the solution. They've already developed what they want to be the new financial governance system after this new Bretton Woods moment. They just need some sort of big event on the scale of World War II or some large event that's, equally disruptive in order to be like, all right, now it's time for a new financial governance system after this big event like they did after World War II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the thing that's so interesting about this debt bubble exploding is that when you know that the debt bubble is going to explode and you want to explode it into the new system, the way that you sort of trigger that into the system that you want to get the masses to go with you is you actually want to have the most debt obligations on the record, on the board, so that when the system pops, they'll all pop. When the debt bubble pops, every debt bubble will pop. It will be everything all at once. It won't just be like, oh, Japan's fine, the US is Like it won't work like that. Everything will pop at once. So in this weird way, you actually want to create as much debt as possible right before the pin bursts the bubble. And then you can offer this, hey, we'll service your debt 1-to-1 if you come join this new universal tokenized ledger. You know, just sign up here, do a selfie of your face, and give us your biometric.
Mark of the beast. It's right there. You know, it's crazy. I mean, I've been listening to this new guy. I sent you a clip of him, Archaics. He's amazing. I cannot believe I've never heard of him before. But he's got a great channel. And he talks about more esoteric way, and he goes to ancient books and very well read. Lots of sources that he references. But he goes to Revelations and he says it is a script. It's a complete script that they're going by. But it's also a decoy. He says that they use actually Greek I don't know, like sources as their real script and what they plan to do. So, you know, it's crazy when you look at these events going on that it does all go back to quote unquote prophecy, probably to gain acceptance by the masses. Because like, oh, see, this is God's work in the world. And yes, this was prophesied. And yes, it's the Antichrist. And don't worry about it. Jesus will come down and he's going to destroy the Antichrist. You know, so don't do anything about it. We're fine. But you know, you're in the know kind of thing. And it looks like, I mean, that's where this is headed, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at China and their social credit system. I mean, that's the U.S. government's wet dream. You know, they want you to, if you're caught jaywalking, you can no longer buy food until you pay your fine. If you misgender someone, your car won't start the next morning. I mean, they want total and utter control over the American public, and this is. I mean, this highlights the most probable way they're going to do it. I mean, they're going to go after money.
Yeah, and when people are desperate and say the system does pop, you know, it's inevitably going to pop. It can't keep going like this forever. So it's going to pop. And it could be that's the reason why they just keep printing and printing more. Oh, let's just shovel it off to Ukraine. Let's shovel it off to Israel. Let's give the people checks. Let's, you know, put everyone on Medicaid and just pile on the debt. Because if this economy goes, all economies go. They're very intertwined with us.
I mean, you know, for better or for worse, the entire world seems to run through the U.S. market.
It does. Yeah. So if people are desperate and the system collapses and your wealth all of a sudden means nothing, and then they offer, like, what do you say, 1-to-1 debt? That was also predicted that the Antichrist will do, that he'll forgive all debt. I mean, there it is, you know. It's just insane to see this stuff happening.
Yeah,
it really. And then, but what do we do? I mean, unless you have a ranch, a pretty good ranch with, you know, good arable land and water and stuff like that, you have no choice but to be in the system. You know, 99.99% of humans will be in the system. But even those, but then you have to be. I mean, if you do have that ranch and that water and, you know, that land that you can work, you'll be completely out of the system. You won't even have internet. Like, you can't get Starlink and say, oh, I'll just, you know, live off the grid. They won't let you because they don't let you pay for it. There's no way to pay for it.
They absolutely hate it. They hate people who try and get off, you know, get off the grid. They hate it. They make it absolutely impossible, you know, for you to do.
Yeah. Look at the Amish. I mean, they're harassed constantly for their lifestyle. I think the regulators go there and make them like throw away butter and milk. That's not up to regulations, just because they're natural.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, shit. I mean, just, you know, even zooming out a little bit, people in America, you can't own land anymore. If you don't pay taxes on your land, it gets taken away. Something that you quote unquote own. You know, something that's completely paid off, but you still have to pay taxes on it, means you don't own it. That you're renting it from the government. They design it this way. It's disgusting.
Exactly. Yeah, if you don't make a payment, they can come and take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A physical asset that's pure profit, because they didn't do anything with that. They can just auction it off, and whatever they get, they get.
Yep.
They don't care.
Yeah, it's travesty.
Right. Well, I guess just get off the black pill.
Now, I love this idea. This is a tweet
Me too.
from, who's that? Kelsey McKinney.
Yeah.
And she says, I am yet again asking the Olympics to simply let a regular non-athlete person do the event first so I can understand how good these people are.
That is such a good idea.
I love it. It's in line with my idea that we should have one person in the debates that's just your average Joe picked off the street. Should also get a platform. I think this is a great idea. This allows people to see how difficult these things are.
It's not really making fun of normal people. It's giving you perspective.
Right, exactly.
Like, okay, say it takes a guy like this to run the 100 meters, I don't know, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So he does it in like 8 or 6. I don't know what it is now, how fast they go. You're like, whoa, okay, that's really impressive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when it's just numbers on a screen, you go, oh, 8 seconds. That's 8 seconds. Wow, crazy. But like if you see it compared to, because unless you're watching the Olympics and then going outside and doing them for yourself, which you're not, let's be real here.
Right.
You have no idea what that looks like.
So funny.
I love it. I think, and the picture they chose is great. Some fat guy he's got a beer in his hand.
Totally. And there's from
this hits a little too close to home, even for me, and I consider myself a young guy.
I mean, no, but it's just funny what society does to you. This is
this is exact. I completely agree. This is from one of my favorite YouTube channels, Cracker Milk. They're really funny.
These guys all the time. They're so funny.
Very
I love
funny.
Australians are hilarious.
Yeah.
All right.
Machine. Then how do you send a fax?
Oh wait.
Oh my god.
You're old.
I'm not old. Really?
Oh,
you blew it.
Make a TikTok. Make a clock.
Do me a favor. Read this. I'll zoom in a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit.
A little bit more.
Yeah, just a bit.
What's that? What's that?
That's an O for old.
Oli.
Like games, banjo. Yeah. What's this one called? That's a Game Boy.
What about this?
Game Boy Color? They're both Game Boys, are they? I bet you can't even get up without making a sound. You old fucking piece of shit!
Oh my god, that's
a fax machine. I don't have a fax machine.
Can I borrow your fax machine? That's what we missed in the beginning. They don't let you rewind, man. It's too bad.
So great. I don't think I believe I did use a fax because I worked for my dad on the weekends sometimes when I was younger.
But your industry works on faxes, doesn't it?
No. God, no. There's no such thing as a fax machine in my.
Because I know. Well, okay, some doctors still do it for referrals and stuff.
I've had to get referrals from my doctor, and it's all through an app.
Oh, interesting.
There's no fax machines there. I mean, yeah, it's funny how fax machines are.
Government still uses like the IRS, I think too.
Yeah, well,
it's fax.
We all know how great and efficient the IRS is.
Yes.
But I had a Game Boy Color growing up.
Oh yeah, me too. I had the normal Game Boy, and then the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then he couldn't read. That's hilarious. Hey man, old age is a real thing.
It is a real thing. I'm definitely getting I've got pains from all over my body from when I played sports. I broke my hand when I was 18, and it still swells up when it gets rainy outside. I've got a weird problem with my hip flexor. Who knows how many concussions I had and how they've affected me. Football is so bad for you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
If I had kids, I don't think it's tough because I love football. I think it's a great sport. God, just the team building in and of itself. I mean, the best friends I have throughout my whole life have all been people I played football with, because when you bleed, sweat, and you cry next to someone who's bleeding, sweating, and crying. I mean, you form a bond. But
you do it together. You win together. You lose together.
Yeah, it's so bad for your physical health.
But do you know? I didn't know this, but soccer players have as many concussions as football.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
but that's from heading the ball because it comes really fast. Like I used to hate heading the ball for that reason. I hated it. But yeah, it just rattles your brain.
Yep.
But obviously,
Yep,
football is
yep,
way
yep.
more violent.
Yeah. Oh man. Love it.
Well,
though.
the Olympics is started already. Well, it started on
Friday, right?
Friday.
We could have done a whole episode on those in the Olympics. What's it called? Opening ceremonies.
Opening ceremony. People were so pissed about that. I saw it all over the timeline that they're upset that it was disrespectful to Christians. Weird. Yeah, all the trannies everywhere. Now,
I don't think you're allowed to say that.
Oh, I mean,
we're gonna get canceled now.
Well, Archaics, that guy I sent you. He the night before he wanted to take everyone through how the elite use these ceremonies to tell their narrative, and he went through 2012 and he did other ones, and he was saying there's definitely going to be a terror attack, and the one in Paris, and then you sent me that article. Wait, where is it?
Some guy had attacked the trains.
Yeah, the trains. Wait a minute. Oh, here it is. Arson attackers targeted rail networks' nerve centers, French PM says, as services slowly resume. But 80,000 people.
I thought it was more than that. I thought it was six figures.
Oh, sorry. 800,000
Yeah.
real customers were affected.
Pre-planned and coordinated, the attacks were.
Yeah. Okay. So where's their intelligence agencies?
These acts of sabotage were clearly aimed at bringing the four arteries of the TGV network out from Paris to the rest of the country to a standstill, and to a large degree, they succeeded.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, hopefully that's the end of it. It's not too big of a deal. I don't think anyone got hurt or died.
Right.
Oh, and that's the fast train.
Mm-hmm.
186 miles per hour. How come we don't have one of those, man?
Because every time they try and do a high-speed rail, it gets bought up by corrupt individuals who cancel the rail line. I mean, that's what happened here in California.
Yeah, didn't they spend like tens of billions of dollars?
Yeah, they had a whole season of True Detective about it.
Is that the last? Wait, which one?
Season 2. Season 2 is about the high-speed rail that was being "quote unquote" built through California, and all the land.
Oh, that was in the back. Yeah, in the background.
All the land got built, or all the land got bought by rich people, and then the rail got canceled. I don't know all the details, but
right.
But also, we're first of all, people always fail to realize this when, especially Europeans, compare U.S. to countries in Europe. We're huge. We are a huge country.
We're a continent.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't know. Have you seen those people? Like I've seen on Reddit a lot where people are like from Europe that go, "Yeah, we landed in New York City, and then we're gonna drive down to Miami, and then head on over to L.A." And then a week later we come back. It's like, you couldn't do that in a week. Do you understand how big this country is?
Yeah, I mean, California alone. How big is California when you compare it to a European country?
It's huge. And if you're one of those fun people that had to drive from California to Las Vegas this weekend, hi Mom, that whole route was completely shut down because of the lithium batteries that exploded. 11 hours from California to Las Vegas.
For those that were driving back right from Vegas to California, or going from California to Vegas, got stuck for 24 hours.
Yeah.
They couldn't move for a day. God, that's scary. In the middle of the desert.
Now, this really isn't conspiracy stuff. This is just more...
I wanted to show the corruption of California once you started talking about that. Yeah,
exactly. California education official embezzled over $16 million, hid cash in mini fridge.
Chump change.
I mean, it's ridiculous because a lot of the problems we have in this country come from corruption, whether it's education or the healthcare system. And the answer, or homelessness is the big one right now.
Yeah.
And the answer from the plebeians seems to be, well, we just need to spend more money on it.
Yeah, more government.
Or we need to add more government to it. And that's just obviously not the case. It's not working.
No.
We need to systematically fix these things from top to bottom to make sure this kind of shit doesn't happen.
Communities have to do it. We can't outsource anything, because when you outsource, you give away your authority, and people just abuse that. They always abuse it. This guy took $16 million. I mean, they seized $7.7 million in property that they were able to trace.
He had a home in Yorba Linda, 2021 BMW, 57 luxury designer bags, jewelry, and high-end tequila. I'm assuming this is a woman.
Yeah, the bags. Look at the cash in her fridge.
Mini fridge. It's just it is sick. You know, and people are always talking about how poor our education system is, and it's not due to spending, it's due to these fucking assholes who ruin it for everybody.
I mean, and you know, it's not just
was it
individuals.
he was sentenced to 70 months in federal prison.
Was he you know, or...
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, they do retain value, but you think it'd get watches.
Or maybe he was buying the bags for his wife.
Yeah,
assuming he had a wife. I don't know.
Look at this. Prosecutors said that Contreras was hired in 2006 and managed the fiscal operations of the district, where 81% of P school through 6th grade are classified as socioeconomically disadvantaged. I mean, he took complete advantage of that community.
What did he get? He said he got 70 months, so that's what, 5 years?
He could probably get to keep some money. Yeah,
jail for longer. Ordered to pay almost $17 million back, which he's not going to pay that back.
Yeah. He'll just claim bankruptcy. You know, I mean, they'll take his house and his cars and those bags, but
they're not getting $17 million.
No way. Lavish lifestyle, including purchasing Louis Vuitton.
It's Louis Vuitton, you pleb.
LVT, baby.
Unbelievable. In his scheme, he wrote checks in small dollar amounts written to MSD with the letter spaced out. After receiving the paper signatures from others, he would fill in those blanks to spell fictitious names and increase the amounts of the checks and deposit them into his personal bank account at ATMs. Oh my God!
No shame. Ooh, look at those bags with money in them.
Okay, first of all, who posts those?
I know, they're just bastards. They put the money in there. I mean, obviously.
Clever? Hey, we need to put this into evidence. Let's make sure we know who this is.
Let's fan out the money perfectly.
Jesus.
He pocketed 16 million. There it is.
Unreal. Yeah, I mean, we need to figure out. We have to take a look at the system that allows this to happen. Because this wasn't, if I remember right, this wasn't he didn't just do this all in one afternoon. This is over the course of like 20 years or something.
Yeah, and it seems always these people get rewarded.
Yeah,
you know, they love the guy. Obviously, they hired him for this district because he had such a good track record of stealing. And that, you know, who knows? Maybe he gave commissions for that. I don't know. Well, that's
Jorge Armando Contreras.
That's mostly what we have today. There are some things we skipped that we can probably save them for next week, I think.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we're sitting at 2.5 hours, which is longer than we like to go.
It's long, yeah.
But we want to thank all of you for listening to us here at the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. We love hearing feedback from you guys. In fact, we got some feedback on YouTube. While I find those comments, I would like I have a need to know Adam to tell all of you great people where you can find us on social media.
That's right, guys. Well, first of all, we have our support link under all of our episodes. So, you know, if you like this show, you like hearing from us, you want us to continue to post episodes weekly, you know, hit us up with some support, buy us a cup of coffee or a vape or whatever it is that we'll use that money for. I'm kidding. We'll put it right back into the show. But other than that, you can... Yeah, what? Oh, yeah, there it is. But you can find us on all major podcasting platforms. We also have... if you don't want to use the big guys and want to use like a podcasting app, then you can just copy our RSS feed, and we should be in there anyway, but you can just copy our RSS feed and then link it up that way. We're on YouTube. Check us out there. We're growing there. We're on Rumble as well. Hello, Rumble. We're on BitChute. Hello, BitChute. And Odyssey. Still working on growing on that platform, but it's a great platform. They support great speech. No censorship whatsoever. It's on the blockchain, so whatever we create will be there forever as well, as long as the sun doesn't take out our infrastructure. Other than that, we're on X, and which is formerly Twitter. So the podcast account is UAP the podcast. That's the handle. I'm at Breakaway Civil, and Topher is at Topher It All.
Awesome. So big ups to Monkey8464 with the dick profile picture. Love it. Thank you so much for your support. Also commenting. Very nice comment.
Yes, very nice comment. Very sweet. It really, you guys have no idea how much it encourages us. Really.
Another big shout out. Lawyer to Lifter.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our really fun show. I was going to say dumb, but I was like, you know what? Let's go positive. Really fun show. We really appreciate you guys listening. We appreciate your feedback.
We do.
And, always feel free to give a shout out. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what we could do better.
Absolutely.
Give me some nickname ideas because I am running out.
I mean, yeah. So what's the trick for you? It's got to be a lot of T's in there.
That's
right?
it.
Mostly.
That's it. I don't know where the take it all came from, but I decided I want to take it all. Give it to me. I want a little bit. I don't want a little bit. I want it all. I take it all.
All of it, baby.
So that is I Have a Need to Know, Adam. I am Take It All. The Topher. Take it all. And this has been episode 82.
Yep. July 28th, 2024.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you all next week. Uncovering Anomalies Podcast.